Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back to Portugal and Beyond. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out my channel. If you're new, welcome. Please subscribe for more information about Portugal living, as well as living in Europe and travel news about Greater Europe. If you are a veteran of the channel, welcome back and thank you for continuing to come back and hopefully sharing my videos with other friends and family. Today I want to answer a question that Maddie B, subscriber, had asked about a month ago, and I'm finally getting around to getting to it. She asked a pretty simple question. Do you plan on retiring in Portugal, and could you give some reasons why you would stay or why you would go? So as many of you know, and I've referenced in some videos, we're still working, so we're not retired. I wish. We're about 10 years away from retirement. Provided unless we win a winning lottery ticket or get the winning lottery ticket, or we have some rich relative that we don't know exists, somehow gives us inheritance, we've got 10 more years to go before we can retire at, I'll say, the early stage per the US parameters. So in the 10 years, would we stay here and retire, or would we move someplace else? And I think, as all of you know, that are checking out Portugal videos, that are looking to retire, most of the people coming to Portugal are retiring. Whether you're coming from the UK and France specifically, or Canada and the US, this has become the hotbed for retirement, one of the top 4 or 5 countries on the planet that people are coming to retire. Not as many people are like us that are still working, that have many years to go before retirement. And people are coming here for the same 3 reasons. It's affordable, even though I've done and other people do videos about rents creeping up and there's some inflation issues now. It's still affordable, it's still safe, still got good health care. So those 3 things are probably the top 5 of what anybody looking to retire or move to any destination would be looking at. So it's got those. I perceive in 10 years, it's probably still going to have those things. So those would be reasons why we would stay. Now, specifically in Lisbon, Portugal, I don't know if we would stay in Lisbon. We've talked about the Algarve. And one of the reasons for that is we love to travel. And I know I bore you sometimes with my travel videos and highlights. We love to do that. And we also love to travel lavishly. We like to go to nice restaurants, probably stay at some better hotels, and do a lot of excursions. So with that, in retirement, we're not going to be doing that as much. So we don't have to have a need for an airport getting us to more destinations. We don't need all of the transportation. We could be in the Algarve and have Faro as an airport. The train system doesn't necessarily go everywhere, but most places, the buses, we could either get the Faro or bus or train up to Lisbon to get to destinations for our travel. We love beaches and we love history. So the Algarve definitely has the beaches, and there's a lot of history in there too. So we're probably going to be more sedentary and more relaxed in our retirement. So if we retire and stay in Portugal, most likely and be doing videos, or you would meet me in the Algarve as opposed to Lisbon, just because we will want something a little more laid back, a little more out of the city, a little less traffic. Not that we have a car, but I'll say pedestrian traffic, less tourists. Although the summertime, it's packed with tourists in the Algarve, we know for about 6 months out of the year it wouldn't be. And most likely we would travel during the summer months to get away from some of the tourists. So if we're staying in Portugal in 10 years and retiring, those are the reasons. We'd stay for the same reasons that everyone else is looking to come here and retire. Why wouldn't we retire in Portugal? So I'll go through a couple of practical or pragmatic reasons. Family. We still, even though we're almost 3 years removed from living in the US, we still go back a couple of times a year. We're going to continue to do that. And I think we miss family and friends back home. And because of that, I think we have immediate family in the US that are still alive, that we would probably maybe go back to the US, or at least spend 6 months of the year in the United States, so that way we're there, and then 6 months in Europe, whether it be Portugal or someplace else. So pragmatic reason, family, always a draw, or I'll say a pull to go back or move back. Also, I'll say from a practical standpoint, if the affordability, the safety and the healthcare starts changing in Portugal, or I'll say starts falling, if you will, then that would be a practical reason why we would not consider Portugal long-term for a retirement. Another practical reason is work related. If there's a job opportunity or a transfer that's going to take us someplace else, we would most likely sell this property and move to wherever that job is. Because again, we still got 10 more years. We can't shut it down right now. We got a long ways to go to get to retirement and enjoy the golden years, as they say. And we've also looked at other places in Europe as well as the world, because we were looking at Lisbon and Portugal, generally speaking, as the country, as a starting point for what would be the back half of our life, so to speak. We spent all of our life in the United States. We wanted to start and set up roots someplace else. And Portugal has very much been a home base for us. We were looking for a home, maybe not permanently, but at least on a temporary basis. If you get my meaning, oftentimes when you take a holiday or vacation, you may have 4 or 5 places to go to but you set up a home base, and then each day, like a spoke on a wheel, you end up going to different places within or around that home base. Portugal, it's easy to get home. It's a 7-hour flight to at least get to the mainland US, and then a few more hours to get home. So if something happened, we can get home in a day. Anywhere in Europe, we can get within, let's say, a 4.5-hour flight would be the farthest flight and still be in Europe. We can get to a lot of stuff that we want to see. But we've also looked at Italy and Greece down the road, that we may look to retire there. Again, based upon residency bureaucracy, tax issues and bureaucracy, things like that. We're trying to weigh that. And although we are 10 years away, we already know what we have in the United States, tax-wise, retirement-wise, cost of living. We have a good idea now, being here in Portugal, what that looks like. But we may also be looking at other destinations too, or next steps. This may be the first of, let's say, 3 steps or 2 steps before we're truly retired. Now, we may end up wherever we're at 10 years from now, coming back, and you may see me do videos from Portugal again. We may very well be in the same apartment 10 years from now. I know that's not a straight answer, Maddie, or for others listening that you may want, but Portugal has much of what we're looking for. What I don't know is in 10 years' time if we'll sort of be done with Portugal, meaning we've seen everything there is to see, and yes, we love it, and yes, it's affordable, and it's good healthcare, but we want to maybe go back home or set up shop someplace else. And I think many other people are in that boat. We have met so many people in the last few years that we've been, or 5 years that we've been coming here and now living here within that time frame, that have retired here, and we've asked them, are you going to spend your remaining days in Portugal, or are you going someplace else? The majority of the people that we've come across that have been here, let's say more than 5 years, but they're retired, have said, well, we like it here, but we're probably going to retire. Actually, we're already retired. We're going to move back home, wherever home is, and that's where we're going to spend our final time. We just wanted to get a taste of Europe or a different place to live and have some, I'll say, some cheap living for the first part of retirement. Many of the people, and I'll say more than half the people that we met that have just moved here before or during the pandemic, like us, that are newly retired, have said, well, we're going to be here for at least 5 to 10 years, we feel, and we'll see how it goes. So there aren't a lot of people that are dead set committed on staying in Portugal for the rest of their life. It may be a transition or the beginning, like us, of maybe many different destinations. But if you're looking to come here on a temporary basis or a retirement basis, I'd say that you can't go wrong. I would say that there are other places that are just as good to live or retire in. It all depends on what you want. So for right now, it checks what we're looking for. In 10 years from now, provided some of the same things that draws everyone to Portugal are still in place, we may still be here or we may come back. Ultimately, we may end up staying here, but doing 6 months here and 6 months in the US. In a perfect world, that's what we would like to do. We'll see if we have enough at retirement and we have done the right with investing. We've made the right moves to be able to make that happen. So, Maddie, I know that this may not be the succinct answer you're looking for, but I hope this gives you some points to ponder or some things to think about. For those of you watching this video, I hope this does as well, give you some things to think about when you're retiring, if you're already in Portugal or if you're looking to retire, whether that be on a short-term basis in Portugal or you're going to spend the rest of your life in Portugal. So as always, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching and enjoy your travels. Hey, thanks so much for watching the full video. If you get a chance, and if you're interested in reading some crazy workplace stories, please check out my 2 books, Magnet of Madness Volume 1 and Volume 2, both available on Amazon in ebook or softcover. If you want to make fun of me, there's plenty of stories where you can do that. If you want to make yourself feel better about the job that you're in, it'll make you feel better too. But crazy stuff that happened over 30 years, you won't believe it until you read it. So thank you so much for watching. And if you get a chance, pick up a copy of one of these on Amazon. Thank you so much.